All right, gods and goddesses in training, welcome back to the channel. It is Uncle Makara. Today we're talking about Think and Flow Rich. Today's a masterclass all about the importance of Gematria's sequence of 888. 888 is also an angel number, okay? So we specifically chose this to be the Gematria of the word Primal Sutra. Now, why do we do this? And what purpose does this really serve? Okay, because there is always something happening in your life that serves a higher purpose, correct? And the universe keeps waiting for a reason. So patience is the key, right? Because as things go according to divine timing, you get this harmony or this balance. All right. So let me just edit some of these settings. Also, thank you so much to the guides, man. You have been just saving my ass with a lot of things. So I just want to say I'm so humbled. I'm so grateful because they know, man. You know, they know everything. There's no point hiding. There's no point seeking. They are a superpower, right? Like working with certain specific guides has taught me that they help you to perceive things in a higher paradigm. And this is why it's so key and so important to understand this today. So what does 888 stand for? Okay. Abundance, financial growth, and synchronicity. Okay. So let's discuss this first. So 888, if you can see already, you notice that if I turn this towards the side, right, it will be infinity, infinity, infinity. Now, 3 is a divine number. So take this to mean infinity times 3. Okay, infinity times 3 creates a sort of a triangle, right? If you look at it. So 8 up here, 8 down here, and 8 over here. But there is a center that remains, right, between them. There is space in between them. So they have room to breathe and move, and it's cyclical, right? Money is very cyclical. So it comes and it goes, just like the seasons change, our monetary situation changes. But this is also why we get very insecure when we don't have money. And this is also why when we used to sit at the dinner table in our families, usually the talks around money used to be purely negative, right? Purely like we can't afford it, like that's not going to be feasible, right? You're spending too much. These were the kinds of narratives that we grew up around. Well, a lot of us did. Okay, maybe not you. Maybe you grew up in abundance. However, if you understand that this number means that you're on the right path and financial blessings are on the way. So there's money still processing. Okay. So don't give in to the three-dimensional circumstances all the time. Stay in that 5D pure mind, one that creates timelessness and introduces harmony. So if you look at the number 8, 8 is also karma, 8 is also harmony, 8 is also investment. Okay. So if you look at the juggler of the tarot deck, right? It's like an 8. So you juggle like that, right? So it's an investment. The juggler is the investor. This is also what I learned from White Feather, a very deep and intellectual numerologist. And yeah, he's very powerful in breaking this down. So that's what he told me, right? In one of the lectures that I was invited to speak at, the Cosmic Convention Code. I don't know if some of you guys may remember that, okay, that I performed there. So this symmetry aligns, right, with the idea of spiritual alignment, this 8, this infinity. this cycle of regeneration, right? Almost like a mystical sense of this eternal flow. So we've got to understand that we've got to activate our higher consciousness through this light code in your DNA, this 888, okay? And also in Christian numerology, the number 888, guys, is associated with Jesus. Jesus Christ has the numerical value of his name in Greek, which adds up to 888. Okay, so that means what exactly? That means that this is Christ your creator consciousness. It is also, if you notice, if you segregate this middle point, you just get a bunch of zeros. Okay, 6 zeros. If you just slice it in the middle right here, right? So in Taoism, they have something called the uncarved block. The uncarved block or the original face, right? You might see the Enso symbol of like a zero that hasn't been met yet, right? So it's a quick calligraphy of the Enso, right? So this is that pocket of that 0 point, that timelessness, right? Where we can use this portal to manifest, okay? Because we are a manifestation path working. We want to bring new things and emerge them into the physical world from the metaphysical, like getting acquainted to the metaphysical, right? So the original face is a concept in Zen and Taoism, and it represents our true unconditioned self before like layers of ego came in, socialization came in, right? External things started to shape our identities. So the original face, akin to Taoism's uncarved block, is a very, very important aspect, okay? So wait a second, guys. I have to do something very, very important. Okay, okay. I was just checking something very key because I have work after this, okay? All right, so the original face, right? This is like pure potential, spontaneity, flow state, whatever you want to call it, okay? Emptiness, all right? So think of it like a gateway portal that you're walking through, because these three infinities are also three wise men, right? Three musketeers. There's always this kind of divine number of three, Father, Son, Holy Ghost, Mahesh, Vishnu, and Brahma, right? So it keeps going like this. The same theme of this divine three, this repeated numbers, but also the 888. What would you say if you ate something? You feel fully filled, fulfilled. It's a symbol of fulfillment times three. There's fulfillment, and then there's fulfillment times three. Okay, so you're relating this back to wealth creation through the esoteric lens. It's real simple. Real abundance flows from aligning with this original face, the original pure self. So this is where you've got to transcend the ego and the society's conditioning and operate from a place of higher consciousness, where your intuition and creativity are free to flourish without the limits imposed by like attachments, external validation, different things that you're anxious about. So in this state of being, you aren't driven by material or ego-driven need for money, but you are expressing your true nature, which paradoxically attracts, abundance effortlessly. So by clearing the ego's need for control, competition, validation, you can align with the natural flow of the universe. Okay? So if you look at this is a cycle, a natural flow that's happening, right? There's a flux, there's a rhythm. As above, so below. As within, so without. Okay. The internal world reflects the external world. This little node here is the zero. Right? This little node right here between infinity point. This is where you jump and shift realities from, right? From this center point. Okay. So I think this is a very, very key point, that if you can access this node, you'll be able to shift realities, right? So let's say you're in one reality, you're going to timeline hop. You end up back at zero, but now you enter from here, right? You exit out here in a new reality, in a new timeline. So this is also a symbol for shifting timelines. Okay, we're getting very deep into this, I know. But that's how we do it. Okay. All right. Anybody listening, just comment, make yourself known. Okay. Money is all about the energy of the spotlight, right? It's not afraid of like showing itself or expressing itself, right? So just clear away the ego's need for any kind of control, validation, and learn to access this flow, this way, right? You would say effortless effort. So it allows wealth opportunities to manifest organically, because the more you resonate with your unconditioned self, the more you attract success, because the formless nature of the original face can shape into anything, guys, right? So it's not necessarily that it's going to create financial prosperity, but if you create prosperity consciousness, if you visualize and imagine you have it already, right? Without the constraints of the ego's limited mindset, thinking, yeah, you're delusional, bro. This is a game of delusionality. What do you mean? Law of attraction, law of assumption is all delusionality, is it not? It's but we're working to embrace the what Poseidon said yesterday. That was a channeling just for adepts, however, is very, very powerful. I highly recommend you guys become adepts so you can watch it, okay? And it was such a powerful lesson. Poseidon was saying that your fantasies are where they're the harbor of your mind. So that's a way that you emotionally regulate. And I found that very thought-provoking, because today is the Neptune Venus connection, right? Neptune is also Poseidon. So the very aspects of this, I think, is really about dissolving the ego and returning to this Uncarved Block original face, where you're in a state where money is not pursued out of lack or attachment, but it's naturally attracted as a byproduct of alignment and universal flow and higher consciousness. Okay. So the notion that money likes money, you've heard it, the rich get richer, the poor get poor, right? It emphasizes a mindset shift where you understand beggars can't be choosers, where you need to embody abundance before you can actually manifest, right? So sometimes you need to experience loss, like losing money or even failing in a business, to make space for something greater. So the idea of emptying the cup in terms of Taoism comes into play here, when there's a unique take on setbacks that allow for more flow state to happen rather than, restriction or closing in or constriction, right? So spending generously, even when it kind of stretches your budget a bit, is a way of signaling abundance to the universe, right? I remember at a time where I had almost zeroed out my bank account when I was living in London. And I remember just spending the last money that I had on something, even when it stretched my budget. I knew that I couldn't afford it at the time, but I still paid for it, allowing that abundance to come in again, right? And it worked. I proved it to myself that it worked through that experiment. And so this counters typical financial advice, right? By encouraging spending, you know, as a way of demonstrating trust in continuous, financial flow. But the universe may make you suffer before you grow into a stronger person. The trials shape you. You go through initiations, especially from your guides. So being delusional, right? What is the definition? Having exaggerated and seemingly impossible goals, right? So isn't that a necessity for achieving extraordinary success? right? I would love to continue talking about this, guys, but I might have to end it as well because I do have work very shortly. So if you have any questions, just ask away, okay? Leave it in the comments. Okay? So without this delusional thinking, I mean, think about it. Elon Musk's vision for space travel or electric cars wouldn't exist, right? Imagine when he was still like creating PayPal, like balding hair, you know what I mean? Couldn't talk to any space baddies like Grimes, right? But then he changed because society views ambitious individuals as delusional or crazy until they succeed. This is the truth. And I'm sharing the fundamentals with you because I've helped other people achieve success. The same way that people are regarded as geniuses are shown to have this fine line between delusion and brilliance. It's absolutely true, right? We call it a Napoleon complex, but think about it. Napoleon had a dream of conquering the world, and so he did. And so he went ahead and did it, right? So Elon's vision of like colonizing Mars is an active necessary delusion for him. So playing it safe, imagine if Elon Musk played it safe, right? No achievement there, no acceleration or expansion of the economy or taking risks in a very healthy manner, right? Or maybe fulfilling childhood fantasies, right? Like getting a flamethrower or some shit. But playing it safe leads to suffering, and not only by stepping out of, you have to step out of societal norms, okay? If you really want to achieve greatness. Because the traditional system is seen as a trap. It's seen as a trap, right? So that keeps people in that mediocrity unless they start to think outside the box, outside the system. So people only start to listen once the results show. So this is why fake it till you make it is the proper approach. But it's not you being fake, it's recognizing that you are that already. It's act it till you fact it in my book TPM, right? That's on Amazon. Just type in my name, Suman Chatterjee. Find it on Amazon, okay? Go buy it. So people only start to listen once the results are showing. So this also emphasizes that success validates delusional thinking in hindsight, right? So before success, people are doubted or mocked for their vision. And then after, they understand that, damn, their delusional thoughts actually fueled their big dreams, right? Steve Jobs, right? Reality distortion field. He had an unshakable belief in his ability to revolutionize tech. So he had this idea of creating personal computers where everyone could use in a phone that could function as a mini computer. That was far-fetched at the time, bro, right? But his vision turned Apple into one of the most valuable companies. Walt Disney, right? Creating a full-length animated film like Snow White, Seven Dwarfs. Highly delusional, right? Highly delusional. Many doubted his vision of theme parks, right? He wanted to create places of magic and fantasy. They told him no. But he still created an empire, correct? A global entertainment brand. The Wright brothers, Orville and Wilbur Wright, right? They were right, okay? They were considered delusional, thinking that they, and powered flight, right? Bars. Wilbur Wright, powered flight, right through the night. People thought it was impossible for humans to fly, but they persisted. They made the first successful powered flight, changing the course of transportation forever, right? Muhammad Ali, the greatest, long before he became world champion. He was just, his self-confidence, belief in his own abilities, larger than life vision and personality helped him achieve legendary status, right? Henry Ford. Cars were luxury items that only rich people could afford. So his idea of making affordable cars for the masses was crazy. Bro, you're crazy. What are you doing? You're nuts. But his Model T revolutionized transportation, right? Jeff Bezos started off in an online bookstore, bro, right? As the e-commerce space was still in its infancy. So many thought that his vision was just overly ambitious and impossible. And today, Amazon is one of the most dominant companies in the world. So Tesla, right? Tesla had wild visions of harnessing energy from the earth, transmitting electricity wirelessly, right? People were like, you're nuts. So you might be considered far-fetched and impractical during this time, right? Why has the algorithm hidden my channel from you for so long? While many have faced challenges and financial struggles, you have to understand that he laid the foundation for modern electrical engineering and wireless communication, right? Ending on this guy. So the book Think and Grow Rich, it mentions a couple of things, right? Napoleon Hill, he presents sexual energy as one of the most powerful forces in achieving success. To redirect that sexual desire into your professional goals, right? That's going to be amazing. Nextly, the other you, he talks about alter egos, right? This other you recognizes no failure, right? It's like your successful self. So start building that self, okay? Hill also suggested using certain stimuli, music, friendship, mastermind alliances, which we are doing, right? And even mutual suffering can raise the mind's frequency, making it more receptive to like wealth attraction, right? Creative ideas. He talked about specific affirmations aloud, right? Implanting desires into the subconscious. Of course, we all know that. But then he also proposed that thoughts, especially those blended with faith and emotion, create this infinite, okay, intelligence, which responds to desires, essentially tapping into a higher cosmic consciousness, okay? So thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I hope you have an incredible rest of your day, wherever it is that you're tuning in from. Much love. May we never be the same again. May the flow be with you. Osa.